I once did,
If
sir.
I need to send you mail, I need to know where to send it.
Right now, I do not have an address.
All right. Well, you do certainly have a right to represent yourself, and I don't have a quarrel with that. What do you want me to do? Set these for a trial? Or set a pretrial on all of these?
A sovereign citizen defendant strolls into court clutching a full-blown script like he's auditioning for community theater instead of facing real charges. He tries to read it line by line, stumbling over words like he's never seen them before, and it's just painfully clear the performance isn't landing. The judge, who's heard every sob-sit buzzword under the sun, isn't buying a single second of it and shuts him down hard. What makes this even funnier is that these magic words are supposed to shield him from the law, but spoiler alert, the law doesn't care about your homemade playbook. It's a perfect collision between fantasy and reality, and the courtroom doesn't bend for fairy tales. Do you guys think judges should let these people ramble, or cut them off the second the nonsense starts? Let's dive in and watch.
David Zambrano.
How you doing today?
Doing all right. It's a Tuesday. We got lots to do, and we're making progress. Mr. Zambrano, we've had a hard time getting you in here. We got a lot going on here. In file 251521, you got a ticket on July 29th for driving without insurance and no valid license in possession. Those are both written under state statute. On July 25th, you got charged with driving with an unregistered vehicle in file 1523. On July 14th, you got charged with driving suspended and unregistered vehicle. That one's under White Pigeon ordinance. So July was a bad month for you. Then we set this a couple times. The city or the village of White Pigeon in the July 14th case has agreed to dismiss the charges if you plead to allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. I'm not sure what the county's position would be on the other charges. And frankly, I don't know why they didn't charge him with driving suspended on all 3 days. Let's take a look. And then you'd missed a date, and then they reset it, and I don't know what happened, but
Your Honor.
yes.
I'm appearing here today, pro se, in the special appearance sui juris and in propria persona. I respectfully assert my rights to represent myself and have my constitutional rights recognized and upheld throughout these proceedings.
All right, well, that's certainly your right.
Thank you, sir.
You live in South Haven?
Actually, I'm a sojourner of the land. I don't have a residency at the
Well, the reason I ask,
I once did,
if
sir.
I need to send you mail, I need to know where to send it.
Right now, I do not have an address.
All right. Well, you do certainly have a right to represent yourself, and I don't have a quarrel with that. What do you want me to do? Set these for a trial? Or set a pretrial on all of these? Some are under White Pigeon ordinance, some are under state statute. You can help alleviate this by getting insurance, getting a license. It looks like you have some out-of-state problems. And you haven't had anything on your Michigan record in a long time. 12 years or more. So how would you like me to proceed here?
What are the charges? Again, all the ones that.
Well, right now, you're not doing a very good job of representing yourself because you don't even know what you're charged with. Let me tell you again. You're charged with no insurance. That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in jail, a fine of not less than $200 and not more than $500. That was on July 29th. On that same day, they charge you with no valid license in possession, even though your license is suspended. They didn't charge that. No operator's license in possession is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. On July 25th, take a look at that one. No, that's the 29th. It's the same as the others. You got no insurance, no ops on person, and unregistered vehicle. That was on July 29th. And those are all under state statute.
Look at this disaster. I mean, this dude is literally clutching the script like it's his golden ticket, but whatever he spent on that script could have gone towards the license and registration he's going to have to pay for anyway. The irony, I mean, he doesn't even have a valid address, which is step one for literally any legal document, so his entire sovereign paperwork stunt collapses before it even starts. Watching him fumble over words he supposedly rehearsed is painful. If you can't even read your own lines, how do you expect to challenge state law? And here's the real kicker. The Supreme Court has already said you can represent yourself, but only if you're competent enough to understand the process. Competent means knowing more than "I don't consent" on repeat. I mean, he can't even get his own written stuff correct, and somehow he thinks he's going to outsmart a judge who's been through hundreds of these soft sit wannabes. It's like showing up to a boxing match with pool noodles and calling it a strategy. If he doesn't know the basics, then he shouldn't even be allowed to represent himself. This is the legal equivalent of trying to outwit a mechanic while holding the wrong car manual upside down.
On July 14th, you got another ticket. Take a look at that one. 1560. And that one, they filed a formal complaint that alleges that you were driving suspended and you had an unregistered vehicle. And that is under White Pigeon ordinance. Driving suspended is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. That carries 2 points and it requires that your license be suspended. And then they charge that you have an unregistered vehicle. You could help all of these if you got insurance, a registered vehicle, and worked on getting your license back. So one thing I could do is set all these cases for a pretrial on the same day with the White Pigeon Village attorney and the county attorney and see if they can come to some resolution of all the charges. Is that acceptable to you?
Actually, no, I have a few questions I need answered before we proceed. I don't understand the nature and the cause of this action against me. And I'm, is this a civil or criminal? It's criminal.
All right. You were here with your mom and she's here with you. So it's good that you support each other. She asked me the same question, which points out to me that you're not qualified to represent yourself if you don't know the difference between a criminal matter and a civil matter. These are criminal matters. They could result in a jail sentence and a sanction on your driver's license.
Thank you, Your Honor. Should the record reflect this is a criminal action then?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I just got to look at my papers and stuff.
All right.
So my next question about it is, Constitution grants this court 2 types of jurisdictions.
Yes. All right, we're not going to get into this, what I call jabberwocky. That has no legal effect. I don't know where you get it or where your mother got it from, a online source or somebody that told you this, or they're giving you bad information. These are criminal matters. They're not terribly consequential. Normally, you wouldn't go to jail for these, although they do carry a potential jail sentence. You don't necessarily subscribe to our system, but I certainly don't subscribe to whatever you got written on the paper there. I propose we set this for a pretrial, and you try to get a registration and insurance, and then come in and share it with the prosecutor and the city attorney, and see if we can resolve everything. If we can't, we can set it for a trial, including a jury trial, I suppose. It's two different incidents. So it would have to potentially be two different cases. What I propose is you trying to do some things to get situated and have a pretrial with the city attorney and the county prosecutor.
Your Honor, I'm gonna have to object to that. Before we can proceed, I need to know, it's upon the authority of the Sixth Amendment, I need to know the nature and the cause of these charges. Could you tell me if it is a common law?
No, these are statutory offenses written under the authority of the people of the state of Michigan. One of these is under the insurance code and one is under the motor vehicle code. The others are. And I don't really wish to engage in this discussion. We've got about 40 other people waiting for their case. And you want to talk to me about how many angels can fit on the head of a pin.
People think they can just stroll into court and everything magically disappears without them fixing the real issue. I mean, this dude literally hit the judge with, "I don't understand the nature and cause of the actions against me." But here's the truth. You don't need to understand them. The Constitution only guarantees you'll be informed of the charges, not that the court waits for you to get it. At one point, he even drifts into nonsense about how many angels can fit in the head of a pin, and the judge throws it right back at him to just show how ridiculous his arguments sound. I mean, I think that moment alone just proves he's wasting everybody's time by choosing to represent himself instead of dealing with the actual charges. Judges don't hand out points for creativity. They cut straight to what's legally relevant. And here, all his wordplay did was underline that self-representation wasn't strategy. It was just self-sabotage.
You're charged with two separate traffic offenses on two separate occasions. You have a right to have an attorney. I'd be happy to appoint one for you, but you don't want one. You want to represent yourself, which is your right, but you don't have the right to waste my time. So if you either want me to set it for a pretrial, I can do that. That would be my preference. Then you can sit down with both prosecutors, ask these questions, and see if it can be resolved. If it can't, we can set it for a trial, either in front of a judge or a jury. So what would you rather do here today?
Well, on the authority of the Sixth Amendment, I'm asking that the court discloses the jurisdiction that I ask.
I just did.
You said it's a statutory jurisdiction?
Yes, you're
Okay.
supremely unqualified to represent yourself in this matter because someone sold you a packet of information that has no relevance in the modern universe that we live in. So I'm gonna set this for a pretrial.
Your Honor, that would be practicing law from the bench if you proceed without me.
I'm a lawyer, I'm a judge, I practice law from the bench. I do it every day, all day. And
I'd like to, I do have a few more questions about the
I don't
statutory.
have any more time to answer your questions. I have a question for you. What do you want me to do with it? Set it for a pretrial or set it for a trial?
Under a statutory jurisdiction, I've never heard of, I need to know where I can find the published rules of the criminal procedure under that.
Well, you can certainly find them on, they're in the public library. You just put the number of the citation, 257904 under the Michigan compiled laws. All right.
Was that
Mr. Stickley is the chief public defender. He's had an opportunity to talk with you Mr. Stickley, what's your recommendation here?
My recommendation would be to set it for a pretrial. I'm happy to spend a few moments with this gentleman and show him where the statute is
All
and
right.
maybe where he can Google or library.
And he's entitled to have copies of each of the tickets and the complaints, and so he can see it. So if you'd like, we'll get copies of their tickets for you. You got the ticket, but there's a formal complaint. I'm gonna set it with joint with the city and county for 2 weeks. October 7. Mr. Stickley is the chief public defender, and he's not exactly representing you, but he's here to make sure that your rights are protected. And he also can give you some advice and maybe point you in the direction of what you want to do. Again, it would be helpful if you would come in with insurance and a proper plate and perhaps an effort to get your license back. You don't want to stay on the driving suspended merry-go-round because it's very hard to get off of it. Once you get suspended, you live near White Pigeon. The other problem is I don't have an address for you, so I need a mailing address. When you go out to the, we can use your mom's address, but I'm gonna need you to give the clerks some sort of address where we can send things to you.
Could you deliver it general delivery to the post office?
Well, you can give them that.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna want you to take him out, get him a proper notice for that pretrial on the 7th. Mr. Stickley will meet with you and get some of that information that you're looking for. All right, sir, I'll see you on the 7th.
I think this dude was clearly unqualified, and honestly, who gave this guy information about what's going on here? Watching him try to bend the court to his own script is like watching somebody bring Monopoly money to pay a speeding ticket. It's amusing, but ultimately just useless. The scary part is these stunts waste the court's time and resources, just dragging out cases that should have been resolved in half the time. I mean, that's the real damage. Judges actually do have the authority to decide if somebody's competent enough to represent themselves, and if you flame out this badly, you're basically proving their point. I mean, honestly, what does it say about our system when people believe internet pseudo-law over centuries of actual precedent? Do you guys think judges should shut these acts down faster, or let them burn out in front of everybody as a lesson? Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care.